All right, what's going on, everybody? Today we're going to start to look at the actual code that kind of goes into apps. So come Sunday night, you want to make sure I'll be looking at like your recreation of your app designs and kind of some of your code and structure that from today. So make sure you have lessons 1 through 6 completed by Sunday. If you have any questions, let me know on recreating those. Lesson 5 is just a quick check for understanding, talking about program languages versus regular language. And then lesson 6 is where we kind of get into actually coding the structures of apps here. Now, when we think of coding our apps, we think of this JavaScript. So we'll be using the JavaScript language to tell our app what to do in our user interface. Now, some of you might like the block version or the actual text version, which is the JavaScript. It's still the same thing as you kind of go through here. And so what they want you to do is add 2 lines. One displays a string and one that displays a number. And so we're starting to kind of look at what is the code actually doing. Once I hit run, nothing happens on my app here. So it's just kind of going through my console. You'll kind of see it kind of pop up down here. So this is nothing that's been coded to go on the app here. It's just kind of showing you this is a sequential program. So when we think of our apps, everything kind of starts from top to bottom as we are kind of writing that book. And I'm going to hit reset. And so what they want you to do is add 2 lines of code, one that displays a string and one that displays a number. So when it's a string, it's kind of like your text there. And our code is very finicky. So it's like if you're missing your quotation marks or your semicolon or your in parentheses, it could get a little upset. So right here, if I want to add a string, I'm going to go Control C. I'm going to go to my next line here, Control V, and then I might add a string. I just might say, good morning. All right, so if I want to see if this works, I'm going to hit run, and I'm kind of watching it down here to see everything kind of happen in sequential order. It's coming down. It's a little slow. And then the next line should say, good morning. So you can kind of see that pop up there. Now, if something was missing, all of a sudden you'll get like this error message here that will tell you that something is awry. So right here, if I try to reset and run this program, oops, keep working. I want to run. We get this syntax error there that it's missing this one little thing. So the code is very finicky. So just know that every little thing could kind of mess up your code. You can also just kind of drag this block into here. And so behind all these blocks underneath the hood is actually the JavaScript. So right here, so maybe I want to put a number. You kind of see, once we put a number in there, we do not need the quotation. So I'm going to put 999, and I can drop that in there. I'm going to hit reset. I'm going to run this program. You can speed it up right here if you're kind of doing something there. Kind of make sure this works. So this kind of just gets you used to kind of the drag and drop, the copy and paste. I think for right now, it's a little easier to kind of see what is everything doing in the text version, but you'll kind of get your use. So if I show the blocks, this one's a little simple because there's no drag and drops inside there. So what I want to do, add 2 lines of your code there, hit finish, and then we'll go on to the next one. And then they get more difficult as we kind of go on here. So right here, you can kind of see here. So you want to run this program to kind of see what's happened. So we're using the console and the set property blocks here. And you can kind of see these steps kind of going through. And then once you modify. So he wants to add 1 console log and 1 set property. So right here, you can kind of go back and forth. Here's your console. This is under variables. And this is your user interface, which is your UI controls. Again, you can kind of go back and forth for text. I think this text is a little easier to see as you kind of go through here. Again, you can copy and paste whatever you feel comfortable with, or you can drag and drop your code in there and tweak that code. All right, so they get a little more difficult, but this is trying to get used to what does the interface look like, the text code versus the block base.